what they will do. That's their own way. That was their own way. Always, it was always like that. Now what happened? So since the discussion was, let's have the discussion if this Bible was the word of Jesus. That's the discussion. Listen, we're not discussing about Islam. We are here. We are discussing about the Bible, not Islam. The Bible. Now going back, the Bible. That's not. This what we have, what you have it, what you have it. Going back. Here. No.
I have 3.
No, he doesn't deserve. Anyway, let's go back. He doesn't deserve. No, he doesn't deserve. You don't deserve. You don't deserve. My question.
Usually this guy runs away from me, by the way.
The answer of my question as follows. This is the question. The first question.
Sheikh Mohammed.
The first question. Who's John? Who's John?
Is he supposed to have
Who's John? Who's John?
The beloved disciple.
Who's John?
He introduced himself in his own gospel.
Show me this in the Bible.
Where it says,
show me this in the Bible.
Show me the writer of the beloved disciple.
Show me that John, who wrote the Gospel of John, is written in the Bible.
Our tradition says
No. Show me in the Bible. Look at this. Look how this. I think this is the problem. They have a problem in the head. Going back. Open the Bible. We're discussing the Bible. Okay. Open in the Bible. Open the Bible. Open the Bible. You idiot. Go back in the end of the Quran. You open the Quran. You find the people who wrote it. Going back.
It never says who wrote it.
You
never says at any point.
Again.
So he's saying, where does it say John wrote John's Gospel?
Who's John?
Where did it say in Surah Al-Baqarah who wrote Surah Al-Baqarah?
That's why, because here, do you want to answer? Do you want to answer? Because you are an idiot. Sorry to say. You are an idiot. Yes.
No, it's the Sheikh.
Okay.
He's ad hominems because he has no argument.
Because you're an idiot.
You need to go back to school.
Because you're an idiot, you never open the Quran. You never open the Quran. Because you never open the Quran. When you open the Quran, here by the end of the Quran, you will find the Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ who wrote the Quran. You will find it because you never read them. That's your homework. That's your homework. That's your homework to do. That's your homework to do.
That means I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have an answer.
Yeah. Okay. That's your homework to do. Going back to your point.
The Sheikh doesn't have answers for you.
Going back.
Because he only knows how to critique Christianity.
Zayd ibn Thabit and many of the Sahaba.
Zayd ibn Thabit wrote it.
Yeah. Read it. That's why I'm saying to you.
Show me a source that says Surah Al-Baqarah was written by
Go back to the end of the Quran. You will find it. Go back in the end of the Quran. No, listen. That's how they are. Listen, brothers. He is twisting the question. The question is as follows. The question is, we have no clue. Even the biblical scholar who doesn't know who's John. Biblical, not me. It's not my statement.
We know who John is.
Fine.
He was a
biblical scholar. No. He never met Jesus, let alone beloved. He never was there. He never met Jesus. This guy, who's John the Baptist, as they say. Was he John the Baptist? Was he John the Baptist? Was he John the Baptist?
No, wait.
Was he John the Baptist? Look.
The evangelist.
So,
is a different person.
All right. Okay. So, well, another John. Who's the other John? The one who was crucified. What's his name? The one who was crucified. What's his name? So look at this. We have John the Baptist.
He has no answer.
We have John, as they say, as they claim, the one who was crucified with Jesus.
And we don't know.
So we don't know.
It's a simple question.
Quran, again, look at this. Look at this difference. Here, with these anonymous people who never know, there is no any eyewitness was there with Jesus. No single eyewitness.
His mother was an eyewitness.
Single eyewitness. No any single eyewitness who wrote the first written some patches from the Bible was 100 and something years after. The first. Then after that, what they have done 300 years after Jesus, they have done, they get together, they brought these patches together. 300 years. 300 years having
first copy
all of them, and it has nothing. So this is hacking. You see here, that's why we need to understand. Going back. So, and this is totally, and this is the Sheikh. I'm saying to you, I'm telling you, going back, you have no ground to stand. Look, this is the thing here. Some people who doesn't know no one knows Who wrote the Bible? No one knows what happened to the Bible. No one knows. 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 They don't know. They don't know their own scripture. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. We have all of it. All of them. All of them.
Which Quran do you have?
All of them. There are all of them Quran. And there are one Quran.
Which Quran
and
do you
here,
have?
you see here,
There
that's
are
how
at
it
least
is.
7 different Qurans.
7 different Quran.
Yes.
Do you say this?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to show
di-
you?
Okay, show
you know
me.
Dr. Fidel Soliman?
Okay.
Of the British Foundation. Do you know that?
No, I don't care about
you don't know
that.
that?
No,
Do you
I
know
don't care about
Hafs,
that.
who
I
narrated
don't
it
care
from
about that.
Nassim? And his own translation,
All
his
right.
own recitation.
All right.
Do you know
Here,
about that?
okay.
Sheikh, how much do you know about your
Now,
religion?
listen to this.
How much do you know about your religion?
Listen, these idiots.
Answer the question about the
Those-
different Qurans.
Those, they call, not Quran, those called different qira'at, you idiot. Qira'at.
Oh, no, it's the
Qira'at
idiot.
means,
There you are, guys.
Qira'at
That's the best
means,
Muslim.
yes,
He
of
is the
course.
best of
Of
Muslims.
course. When someone is an
He calls
idiot,
people
when
idiots.
someone has issue in the head, what do you do?
I
Someone
have an
believes,
issue in my head.
someone believes,
My friend,
God
you
will
don't know how to
leave
address
his
arguments.
glory and
You
come
have no
down
idea.
as a form of a man.
Your
Thinks
Lord
it's
will come
normal.
as a form of a
Going
man.
back,
According to
going
the
back.
hadith.
Going back to the point.
Your Lord also
When we
apparently
say
comes
that,
down to the lowest heaven,
look,
the
you're
third part of the
hacking
night.
it.
He leaves down.
You're
That's the
hacking it.
point.
You see here, you're
Wait,
hacking
you
it.
will answer
You're
me.
hacking it.
If you don't answer me, I'll
And
heckle you.
I answer.
He
Look,
doesn't
how
heckle
many
me.
times?
Go on then,
How
tell
many
me- tell
times?
me about the Qur'an.
Okay. After, listen, let's have a
Come on
discussion.
then.
Let's have a
Tell me.
discussion.
All right,
Yeah.
Qur'an. The different Qur'an.
After I talk about the Quran, we gotta discuss about the preservation of the Bible.
There you are, let's
Yeah?
see.
I'm
You
t-
can't talk
I will
about
answer.
it.
No, I will answer.
Every time you ask a Muslim about
You
the
see
different
here,
Qur'ans, I go, let's
you
talk
see,
about the Bible.
as I said to you,
They don't have
you see, when I
answers.
said to you earlier, my brothers, listen, when I said to you, those people that have issue in the head, did you see what I said? I said as follows: if I answer about the Quran, and I will answer, and I will answer about the Quran. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Do you see? He doesn't understand. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. When I
Answer
said,
then.
okay,
You've been speaking for about
no,
10
the
minutes.
question: if I answer about the Quran,
on
will
then.
you answer about the preservation of the Bible?
Talk about the Qur'an.
No.
That is what I'm asking.
No,
you.
that's my
I'm
condition.
asking you
That's
about
my
the
condition.
Bible.
That's my condition.
Muslims cannot defend
No.
the Qur'an.
Listen, he came to us. He came to us with his filthy lies, and he is telling to us. Yeah, he came to us with his filthy lies, and he's saying nonsense. My question again to you,
still
going
hasn't
back,
answered.
going back to the point.
He still hasn't.
If I answer about the Quran,
see.
if I
Can
answer
I
about the
have an
Quran,
excuse to
and I
pivot?
will answer about the
Can I have an excuse
Quran,
to
will we
pivot?
talk
The
about the
answer is
preservation of the
no.
Bible?
You cannot have
You
an
see here,
excuse to pivot.
because
You
they have
to answer.
no ground.
You have no ground.
No ground to stand.
Where is your
It's
ground?
water.
He hasn't even talked
Not
about
even
it yet.
water.
Tell me
Even
about
not
the
air.
Qur'an. Tell me about
Nonsense.
Qur'an.
They have nonsense.
Tell me about the
Now
different
here,
Qur'an.
you see here,
Right.
that's what I want.
Quickly.
Going back,
Talk
will
about
you
it.
answer about the
Give an
preservation of the
answer to the
Bible?
Muslims.
Preservation of the Bible.
Give an answer to the
After, I will
Muslims
answer.
about
You are,
your
will you talk
religion.
about the preservation
You're
of the
a
Bible?
Muslim, aren't you? Then talk
Now
about the
here.
Qur'an.
Okay, then shut up.
Talk
Let me,
about
then
the
shut up. Let me
Qur'an.
go.
I've been waiting for you
Then
for
shut
10
up.
minutes.
Then shut up. We will answer this
Come on
question.
then. Right
After
now.
that,
Give me an answer.
after that,
Oh,
the
after that. See,
Qira'at.
now you
Yes,
want to
and
pivot.
after that, we're going to talk about the Bible.
Muslims,
Firstly-
your sheikhs can't talk about
The
anything
first-
but the Bible. They know the Bible
Nonsense.
more than they know their own religion, apparently.
Why don't? Why you?
Because they have no idea.
Look,
They have no
look,
idea.
look,
Come on then.
look,
Talk
you're-
about it
you're
then.
idiot
Talk about
friends.
it then. What are you putting over
Okay,
there for?
yeah.
You're supposed to talk about the Quran.
Look at that. You're
Talk about the
idiot.
Qur'an.
Now
Let's see
here,
if you will
the
talk about
Qira'at is as follows: is the pronunciation.
Oh, it's
Yes,
pronunciation.
yes, it's
Oh, is
pronunciation.
it?
Like,
Oh, what Dr.
like
Fidel
he was
Soliman
talking
said.
about. He was talking about.
see what Dr.
He was talking
Fidel
about.
Soliman-
I don't care about Fadl
Oh,
Soliman.
no, his
Fadl Soliman
Muslim
has no value for
No
the
value.
early scholars. We have the
He did a
scholars of Islam.
translation of the
It doesn't
Quran.
matter. It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
It doesn't
In
matter.
Arabic.
Who translated the Quran?
Dr. Fidel Soliman of the British Foundation from
That-
Egypt in
no,
Cairo.
that's not right.
You,
That's not true.
You absolute silly
The-
person. He doesn't even know.
So here,
he
you
doesn't
see-
even know. He doesn't.
I
he
answered.
throws
Listen,
his own
listen.
scholars.
Did you hear? Did you hear what I said?
Dr. Fidel
I answered.
Soliman,
I
and
answered.
this man thinks
You
he's
see
not
here, I
right all the
answered.
time.
Here, what we have, what we say, we have
foolish
Imam
is this?
al-Shatibi.
How foolish is this?
We have the Shatibi. We have the early school of Islam who talked about the Qira'at.
British
We have
translation
finished
of
it.
the 10
It's
Qur'an
been
of the
finished
Holy
and done.
Quran.
And the Qira'at is the pronunciation. For example, Allah says, Adhib, and Allah says, Adhib. Both of them is a pronunciation and it's valid to say it. Now the question is, I have answered this. Now going back to the Bible. Since we have answered, that's my question here. Now there are no any single eyewitness who have who saw Jesus, and they wrote the Bible. No single eyewitness. Secondly, the second point, you don't find anyone who memorized the Quran like us, who memorized the Bible like us, who memorized the Quran. When we talk about the preservation of the Quran, we have people. We trace our memorization all the way back to the Prophet, peace be upon him. But you have no ground to stand.
Right, so let me just
the discussion now here, the discussion is as follows. I have answered. No, I have answered.
Okay, good, let me address it then.
No, I have answered. You came to ask. 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 You came to ask.
He doesn't care about it.
No, I don't care about it because I have enough. I have enough scholars. I have enough scholars. Before Fadl Sulaiman. I don't need Fadl Sulaiman to have Imam al-Shatibi. I don't need if I have Hafs and Asim. I don't need anyone else. No, we finished that. You came to ask. You asked the question. No, of course. Yeah, this is the Sheikh. This is the Sheikh. I will shut you. Yes, this is the Sheikh. Yeah, I'm shutting you. Now going back. Now here, when we have the scholars of Islam, when we have Imam al-Shatibi, when we have the scholars of Islam, when we have Hafs and Asim, when we have the scholars of Islam, this is our ground. He came to us. You'd be quiet. No, you came to us. You came to us. No, until he answered the question. The first question. Will you answer the question? 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 No, you don't answer the question. You don't answer the question. All right. Okay, now going back to the point about the preservation of the Bible. No. We're talking about the preservation of the Bible. Going back, what is the preservation of the Bible? How we know that the Bible that they have here, it is the Bible which was sent. Firstly, the translation. On top of that, the translation which was in there. Now here, my brothers, our Muslim challenge. Here, all the Muslim challenge. Because this guy, he doesn't know what it says. Before that.
That's what he said.
No, that's not true. That's not true. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. How do I know? How do I know you're not lying?
How do I know you're not lying? Translation to embrace the 10 modes of recitation.
No, there's no 10 modes. There's 7. That shows the weakness. There are 7 modes, not 7, not 10. There are 7 modes, not
considered.
Okay.
In other words,
there are 7 modes, not 10. That shows
affect
there are 7 modes.
There
are 7 modes. There are 7 modes.
In his book. His book is called The Bridges Translation.
There are 7 modes for you to know, not 10 modes. There are 7 modes. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said in the hadith. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said in the hadith. The Quran was revealed on 7 modes, not 10 modes.
That's why he said it.
Pronunciation. Yes, it's a pronunciation. Yes, a mode and a pronunciation. That's fine. No problem. That's the same. What's the difference? He's English. He has a problem. What's the difference? 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 What is the difference? What is the difference?
You have just
said. What is the difference?
You have just
said. And I said.
The Qur'an pronunciation.
And mode. And it is mode. The same. And it is mode. Because pronunciation.
Difference in meaning.
No.
Confirmed by Dr.
For example, these are completion meanings,
they don't have
not contradictory meanings. Those are, like for example, those are completion meanings, not contradictory meanings. Meaning complete to each other. They fulfill each other. They are fulfilling each other. This is here. That's the heckling. You see here, going back, I have answered. Now going back to the Bible. Going back to the Bible. Wallahi.
Predictable.
They run from the. We talk about the Bible. Shake it.
I gave one objection.
I answered. I asked this question to all Christians. They believe those people, they are pagan. They don't know. Christians are pagan. Christians are pagan. Look.
This is a man of knowledge.
Yes, a man of knowledge.
He doesn't know the Qur'an.
Look at the Christian. The Christian, they are a pagan worship. They are worshipping pagans.
Let me read you some variations in meaning.
For example,
here we go.
When you ask them, okay, in the day of judgment, who are you gonna see? No, he doesn't want to talk about. He doesn't want to talk about. He's talking about the Bible. Now here, when you ask them, Who are you going to see in the day of
Won't
judgment?
answer.
They're going to be the Father sitting on the
Muslims,
throne,
does anyone want
and
to come
on
and
his
join
right
me?
hand side,
Anyone
Jesus
want
will
to
be sitting,
debate
and
about the
the
Quran?
Holy Ghost is
Anyone?
flying around. You have
Anyone
three
want to
gods.
talk about the
You
different
pagan.
Qurans?
You have no ground as a
No,
pagan
he calls
faith,
me names.
like yourself.
He calls me names.
As a pagan faith, you're pagan.
You have lost
You are
character
pagan.
because
You are
you attack
pagan.
me.
No, you're
I'm a
pagan.
pig.
Not pagan.
Pagan.
Yes,
Oh,
not pig.
careful
You see
there,
here?
careful
You're
there.
pagan. You're pagan. I'm saying
Pagan.
you're pagan. Yes,
Well,
true. You
I
are
think
a
you're a
pagan.
lovely man,
You
Sheikh
are
Mohammed,
pagan.
but unfortunately,
Why?
you
Because
can't
you
defend your
worship.
religion.
You don't worship one God. You worship three gods. This is paganism. When you worship
can't
three gods,
defend.
that's called
There are
paganism.
7
Yeah,
Qurans.
yeah, no problem. There's no Quran.
Oh, no problem, no problem. No problem with 7 Qurans.
So you have issues.
Will
with
you
pagan.
address that?
So you see here,
Will he address
he
the
has
7
no issue
Qurans?
being pagan. No problem.
have given
He
him
has no
time to
problem
speak.
being
I'm
pagan.
gonna stop speaking
He has no
and see
problem
if he
being
addresses
pagan.
the
No
issue
problem.
of
He
7
has no
Qurans.
problem
Here we go.
being pagan. Why don't you worship the trees then? If the God, why God didn't come as a tree?
No,
You see
there's
how
no
this
response.
paganism.
He still
So
can't address
going
the
back,
question
going
of
back
7 Qurans.
about the preservation of the
7
Bible.
Qurans?
When we have
Qurans?
now with this,
Hello?
can you read the
Are you
Bible
there?
on the tongue of
Can you
Jesus?
hear me?
Can you read the Bible on the tongue of
can't
Jesus?
address me.
Can you
Come on,
read the
Muslims.
Bible on the tongue of Jesus?
You would imagine that
Can
Sheikh,
you
to be
read?
honest with
I
you-
could.
I know.
I could read the Quran in the tongue of Muhammad. Can you read the Quran in the tongue of Jesus?
Which version?
Can you?
Wash.
All of them. All of them. All of them.
Okay.
Can you read the Bible on the tongue of
I
Jesus?
want you to read.
Can you link the
Sahih
Bible on the tongue of
al-Bukhari. No,
Jesus?
I want you to read.
Can you
Sahih
read the Bible on the tongue of Jesus?
Why you are rattling
Can
on
you
about?
read the Bible on the tongue of Jesus?
I want you to read.
Can you
Surah
read the
5,
Bible on
ayah
the tongue
4.
of Jesus? Again, can you read the Bible in the tongue of Jesus?
He's trying to
He
speak
can.
the Quran, he can't read
Can
it.
you read the Bible in the tongue of Jesus?
No, it's he
Can
pivots
you
to the
read the
Bible.
Bible in the tongue of
He
Jesus?
pivots to the Bible.
No, it
Where
doesn't.
is the
He
mark of a man
can't.
who's
He
lost the
can't.
argument?
Why would they have here?
pivots to another
They have no
religion.
Bible. Those
There is.
people.
I was
Can you
clear in my
read?
argument.
Can you read the
It was
Bible in the
always
tongue of
about
Jesus?
the
That's the
different
question.
Qurans.
Here,
Will he
how
ever
we say,
address me?
we are
Muslims,
Muslims,
will he ever address
all
me?
around Muslims,
Will he ever
all
address
around
me?
the world, even non-Arabic speaker,
Which
they can
one?
read
Which
even
Quran?
even
Which
non-Arabic,
Quran?
all,
Abdullah ibn Masud?
all,
Ubay ibn Ka'b? Which Quran?
all. Can you read the
Won't
Bible
tell
in the
you,
tongue
won't
of
tell
Jesus?
you, won't tell
At least we can read the
Did
Quran
you know
in the
that
tongue of
Uthman
Muhammad.
had the
You cannot
Quranic
read the Quran in the tongue of
manuscripts
Jesus. That is basic.
Uthman
You
had
cannot
Uthmanic
read the Quran in the tongue of
manuscripts
Jesus.
burned.
You
Had them
cannot.
taken and
Here,
burned.
that's they
Those
have
which
no
did
ground.
not
And
agree
they come here.
with the Qurayshi dialect,
They
he
come
had
here.
burned. Imagine your
They
hadith.
come here. Listen,
That's
brothers.
Sahih al-Bukhari.
They come here to criticize the Quran where they cannot read
And they
the
can't do
Bible.
anything about it.
They cannot
They
read the
can't do anything
gospel
about it.
on the tongue of
I
Jesus.
saw this
What was
man
the language? What
mocking
was the language?
a Christian.
Yes.
He
What
mocked
was?
a Christian.
And I'm still.
So I
I'm still.
came to
no
him
problem.
and I said, talk about
Can
your
you read?
religion.
Yeah,
Very
you see
good.
here. Those people who they come to criticize the Quran where they cannot read the
He was
Bible
critiquing
in
the Bible.
the tongue of Jesus.
The beginning of the surah
Yes,
will show you
in
he
the
was
tongue of
critiquing
Jesus.
Christianity.
Here my question
He was
is,
critiquing
what was the
Bible.
language of
And I
Jesus?
saw it with my own
What
eyes.
was the language
And
of
now
Jesus?
he is lying.
What was the language
What was
of
the
Jesus?
language of
What was
Jesus?
the,
What was the
I'm
language
asking
of
you.
Jesus?
I don't know.
What does the Quran say?
You teach
What
us.
does the
You
Quran
tell us.
say?
You tell us.
What does the
What
Quran
was
say?
the language of Jesus?
The Quran
Can you
says.
read the Bible in the tongue
The
of Jesus?
Quran says.
No one,
What does
no
the Quran
Christian
say?
on
He
earth
doesn't know
now,
what the Quran
no Christian on earth now can
What-
read the Bible on the tongue
what
of Jesus.
does the Quran
No
say
Christian,
the
so-called
language of
Christian,
Jesus is?
they are pagan.
What does
And
the
no
answer to the
Christian,
question?
there are no Christian on earth
answer?
nowadays.
What
No
answer?
Christian on earth can read the Bible on the tongue of Jesus. Why? It is lost. They lost it.
You
They
lost
banned
it. We have it.
They banned it.
We have the
It's not
Injil.
there.
We have the
it's
Torah.
not there.
He doesn't.
Which one? The Catholic? The Catholic one?
Catholic
Do you-
what?
Do you
Catholic
accept?
Injil?
Yeah,
Show
the
me a
Bible. The
Catholic
Bible.
Injil.
Do you have the Catholic Bible?
Oh,
Do
now
you have the
he
Catholic
pivots.
Bible?
He pivots from
No,
Injil to
no,
Bible.
the
No, he
Injil,
did.
the Injil
No,
was
that's what he
revealed
did.
on Jesus,
The
peace be upon
Injil
him.
is not
They
the
lost
Bible.
it,
He pivoted.
they lost it,
Prove it.
and they twist it,
We have
change
manuscripts.
it, manuscript. Which one? The Catholic
We have the
manuscript.
Gospel of John.
Which one? The Catholic manuscript.
Didn't Ibn
Which
Ishaq
one?
say that he affirmed?
Which one? The
Didn't
Catholic
Ibn Ishaq
manuscript.
say he
Which
affirmed
one? Which
John
one?
was a messenger of
Which
Jesus?
one? Which
Didn't
one?
Ibn
The
Ishaq
Catholic is not
affirm
there.
that John was a
Which
messenger of
one?
Jesus?
Which one? The Protestant. Which one?
Quran?
We don't
Abdullah
know.
ibn
We don't
Masud,
know here,
Ubay
and
ibn
that's why
Ka'b.
to show you.
One.
To show you
Or is it
that
Zayd
you
ibn
are
Thabit?
insincere
Which one?
people. You insincerity even infected
Sheikh,
even your
you
own
don't know your
faith.
religion.
That's why.
What language
At
did
least
Jesus
my
speak?
religion, people
What
they
language
didn't
did
come
Jesus
to
speak?
vote
What
for
language
it.
did Jesus speak?
They
What language did Jesus speak?
We don't know. You tell us.
Know?
You tell us.
The Quran tells you.
No, you idiot. Quran never said about the language of Jesus.
What is it?
What was the language of Jesus?
What does it say?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Here, look at this. Those guys, they don't know what Jesus has said. They don't know. If it was without us, even we don't know.
Would Jesus have spoke according to the Quran?
No, Jesus didn't. Here, Allah says to us in the Quran, we know that they have this different languages.
Okay,
and I know it was there. But as well, Allah told us in the Quran. Allah told us in the Quran. Allah says the differences between your tongues and the differences between your nation is something from Allah. But here the question is not the problem. The problem is,
language do they speak?
can you bring me someone on earth who can recite the Bible according to the recitation of Jesus? Can you bring me single Christian on earth? One Christian, just one person. One single Christian on earth, just one, who can recite the Bible according to the tongue of Jesus.
What was the tongue of Jesus?
I'm asking you. I don't know, you tell us. You are the Christian. You are the Christian, not us. You are the Christian.
What was the tongue of Jesus?
You don't know, because even you don't know. Can you recite? If you know, can you recite the Bible? Can you recite the Bible on the tongue of Jesus?
If he himself
can you recite the Bible on the tongue of Jesus? No. If you know, recite it. Show the audience here. Show the audience here. Recite the Bible. Open up the Bible, which is written in the language of Jesus. Open the Bible. It's a challenge for all of you Christian. And here the challenge. It is a challenge for all Christian on earth. If they can bring the Bible, or they can bring the gospel which was revealed in Jesus. Bring me according to his language, to recite it in his language. You're a Christian, yes? Yeah. Can you read the Bible according to the tongue of Jesus?
What does the Quran say the language?
Can you do that?
What was the language?
Yeah, what is it?
He doesn't know.
They say Aramaic. They say Aramaic. You say Aramaic. Yeah, you say this.
The Quran say
and what is? And how they wrote it? They wrote it in old Hebrew language. Look at this nonsense. So look at this. He was speaking Aramaic. According to them. And the early one, what they wrote it in old Greek language. What nonsense is this? Now my question is, can you read the Bible according to the tongue of Jesus now?
Yes,
open the Bible, read.
Yes.
Show us, read according to the tongue of Jesus. Yeah.
What was it?
Show us. Show us.
Yes.
Show the audience.
I just said yes.
Show, prove me I'm wrong. Prove me I'm wrong. Prove me I'm wrong. Which manuscript? Which manuscript? Written what? In which language? Which language?
The language Jesus spoke.
Which one? Which language? What was the language?
I don't know, you tell me.
You see here, it was written in Greek.
How can you argue against me if you don't even
Greek?
know what you think he spoke?
Jesus. Now, by the way, it is written in Greek. Did Jesus speak Greek?
Yes.
Nonsense! Look at that!
How do you know?
Nonsense! They say he was speaking Aramaic.
Did Jesus speak Greek?
They cannot. They don't know what.
How did Jesus speak to? How did Jesus speak to Pontius
Aramaic, by the way.
How did Jesus speak to Pontius Pilate?
Now here, we're talking about the Bible to be written, to be said according to the tongue of Jesus. No, there is no any Christian on earth who were able to read the Bible according to the tongue of Jesus, and this is their problem. That's their problem. So that's why. And they come here to. Why the Quran need to do this for you? To do your homework. You should do as a Christian, devoted Christian, to come to read the Bible
in the language of the people.
What is the language of your people?
Exactly.
What was the language of the people?
It doesn't say the language.
Yeah. What was Greek? What? We don't know. Now here, Jesus was Hebrew. Look at this.
Greek.
Jesus was Hebrew, yeah? He was Hebrew. He was himself was Hebrew.
What did the Jews speak at
Jesus was Hebrew, yeah?
What did Jews speak?
Jesus was Hebrew. He was supposed to speak in Hebrew language, yeah? And yet, he was talking in Aramaic.
Two names.
Secondly, the Bible, the first manuscript, was written in Greek. Look at this nonsense.
He had disciples.
So Jesus was Hebrew. Secondly, Jesus was Hebrew. Secondly, he spoke Aramaic. The Bible was written in Greek. Look at this. All of these, that's hilarious. That's true. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. True. It is hilarious. When someone has Hebrew descendants, someone who's Hebrew descendants who speak Aramaic and to write his book in Greek. That is hilarious. It is hilarious. Now the question is, can you read the Bible according to the tongue of Jesus? Again, can you read the Bible according to the tongue of Jesus.
Exactly, he doesn't care anyway.
Yes. Who can anyone? He cannot. Look at this. Look at this. Look, those people, the Christian, who claim to be devoted Christian, they cannot. If Jesus resurrected now in front of us, we cannot talk to him. They can, because he speaks different language. They couldn't understand him. He cannot understand him.
What does Hellenized mean? Sheikh, what does Hellenized
now here again. Listen, if Jesus came now on earth, he cannot talk to him. Why? He speaks different language. He has different language. He has different language. Those people, look at this.
Why do they have Greek names?
Someone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What? So Jesus was Greek. What Jesus Greek? Come on. What Jesus Greek?
How did Jesus speak to Pontius Pilate?
What Jesus Greek? We're talking about.
That he's critiquing.
Well, here. Who said that he spoke it? Not even historically accurate. It's not historically accurate. Look at this. Look how they prove. Listen.
The validity.
Look how weak they are.
And in Surah 48.
Look how weak. Look how weak. Look how weak they are. They are to prove they are right. To prove they are right. They try to prove Quran is wrong. That's how they do it. How to prove they are right? They try to prove Quran is wrong. That's how. Look how nonsense. That's seriously hilarious. Now here, we don't have to prove. We don't have to prove Bible is wrong in order to prove that we are right. We don't have to do that. But what they do, that's what they do. And instead of defending their faith, they cannot defend it. Okay, suppose I can defend it. Suppose I can defend it. Don't defend your faith. Don't defend your faith. Now, suppose let's defend your faith. Can you speak?
I just did.
Can you speak? Can you speak the language of Jesus?
What does Philip mean?
Can you speak the language? Why you bring me someone's name?
It's a Greek
Don't
name.
bring me someone's name. Jesus, what Jesus Greek name? What Jesus Greek name?
Did he speak Greek in the Greek region? Yeah.
Wait 1 second. Yahweh was a Greek name. Yahweh was a Greek name.
Did I say that?
Yahweh was a Greek name.
Did I say
you see here?
No, he said.
Was Yahweh a Greek name? Okay, Yahweh was a Greek name. Is Yahweh a Greek name?
Did I say that?
So here, going back. You said you claim the name of God.
Do you know what Yahya means?
Yeah, I know. I know that what it means. Going back.
What is the name of God?
Going back.
What is the name of God?
Going back. Going back. Going back. You see here, they lost the name. They don't know even Yahweh. They don't know what it means. They don't know what's the name of God. Going back. Going back. Here, Allah. Allah.
This means the God.
No, means the one true God. No, Ilah means God. Ilah, you did it. Ilah means God. The one true God. Yes, that's what it means.
I said it means the God.
No, it means the one true God because it's not Ilah, it's Allah.
So it's not a name.
Yeah, it's not his name. No, Allah, yes, Allah. The one, no, the one true God. No, the one true God, Allah. The one true God. The one true God. Going back to the point.
You have no idea. Your own
here, look at this.
Has names that reference
you see
the
here?
name of Yahweh.
Yeah. Okay, here going back. Going back to the point. Those Christians, I asked him, look at this challenge. I asked him. He is heckling for the last half an hour. I challenged him since the beginning. Since the beginning, I challenged him. If he can recite the Quran, the Bible on the tongue of Jesus. Just read one passage, one single passage. Read for us. Read for us. One single passage. Read for us. Read for us now. You read for us. Read for us. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Going back. Can you please read for us one single passage from the Bible that was said on the tongue of Jesus? One single passage. Only one.
The very manuscripts we have.
Only one. Just one. There is no Christian on earth. No Christian. There is no Christian on earth. If Jesus comes to them now, they cannot talk to him back. Because they can't talk to his language. They can't. They can't. They don't know. They don't know.
4 centuries the credit.
Now here, look, like this side. The first, this one. One credit card size. Like this. Like this. Like this. That's all. Like this. Oh, the early manuscript. When was the early manuscript?
9th century.
9th century. 9th century. Look at this. You have your early manuscripts.
Show me a complete Quran from the 1st century.
Yeah, we have. Sinai Quran. Sinai Quran.
Sinai isn't a complete Quran.
Go do your homework. Go do.
Wait, no. The Sinai manuscript is a palimpsest. It has a
Go do your homework. Go do your homework.
Sinai manuscript.
Go do your homework.
A palimpsest.
Go do your homework.
Underlying writing.
Go do your homework. You don't know. Go do your homework. You go do your homework. Do your homework. The first manuscript what they have is like this size. Like this size, 2 lines. That's what they have. That's the only manuscript in the Bible.
Exactly.
Yeah. My question is to you, going back. And it is written in a Greek language.
Where is your
Greek?
And
Not even the original.
Jesus
No.
Which translation is the Bible? Tell me that.
Okay.
spoke Greek.
What was the translation of the Bible now here? Going back. What is the translation of the Bible? What's the early one?
The earliest manuscripts we have.
In what
were
language?
The language of the day.
Which was?
Koine Greek.
That's it. It's that language. No one took it. Going
The
back.
Quran says
No, question
that they
is,
sent
going back.
messengers in the language
Jesus,
of the time.
one second. Jesus,
Yes.
listen. No, he didn't speak. None. He didn't speak.
Why were they called Simon
Yeah.
and Andrew?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's a Greek name.
Okay, it doesn't matter. We have people whose name is Tom. It doesn't mean they are Christian. It doesn't matter.
Okay. The word
we have
David
people.
means beloved.
Okay,
It's
that's
a
Hebrew. That's Hebrew. Yes,
If
the
you-
same thing. Jesus was a Hebrew man who spoke Aramaic.
Yes.
And no, don't lie,
me
don't lie,
any proof
don't
he
lie,
did not
don't
speak
lie,
Greek.
don't lie,
Show me
don't lie.
proof he did
You need
not
to
speak
prove, not
Greek.
us. You
I
prove.
gave you proof.
Well, he's a
Spoke to
proof.
Pontius
Oh,
Pilate. The internal
Pontius Pilate,
said
who
it's
their
not Greek.
names, or
Second
coincidence, their name is
Simon
Greek.
is
Who
a
wrote
Greek.
about them 800 years after? Greek language. Look at
right.
the nonsense.
Andrew,
Nonsense.
Are Greek
Yeah,
names.
look,
Point number 2.
who wrote it?
cares?
800 years
Number
after.
You don't care. You don't care.
We're talking about the language
The
now
Quran is
here.
corrupt.
Yeah, going
There are
back.
7
Yeah.
Qurans.
Suppose this, even
Has
though it's
he
not true.
addressed?
Going back.
There's 7 different
You see
Qurans.
here.
Has he addressed
Now
them?
here, yes.
Really?
It's addressed.
Tell me,
It's
what was the
addressed.
answer?
It's addressed. Going back.
I quoted
I answered.
Dr.
I
Fidel
answered.
Suleiman
I answered.
from the Bridges
I
Foundation
answered.
from Egypt.
I
in
don't need.
Cairo.
I don't need Fadl
He
Suleiman.
says
I don't need Fadl
that
Suleiman.
the Quran
I don't
is
need.
revealed
But
in
here,
7
you see here,
different
that's the
modes.
weakness. He cannot
Those
read one
modes,
single passage.
very in
He
meaning.
failed.
I can
He
give you
failed.
examples.
You
For
failed.
example,
You failed now.
in Surah
In front of
Al-Fatiha.
everyone. You failed now
In Surah
to read one
Al-Fatiha.
single passage
It
from
says,
the Bible in the
"All
tongue of
praise
Jesus.
be to
You
Allah,
failed.
Lord
You
of
failed
all
to do it.
realms." I'm reading your
Yeah,
Quran.
you failed. You
Yeah,
failed to do it.
merciful.
The Quran in
The
Arabic.
bestower
Quran in Arabic.
of
We don't
mercy.
use translation.
Master.
We don't use translation.
Okay,
We don't use translation.
But
We
master
don't use translation.
in Arabic can also be translated to owner. That
yeah.
means there are 2 possible ways. of
Yeah.
reading the Quran.
No, I will add to your information.
I am quoting
I will add to your
Dr.
information.
Fidel
I will
Suleiman,
add to your information.
who knows
I will add to your
Arabic.
information. I will add to your information. Allah says Maliki and Malik.
Oh, do they mean
What's
different
the-
things?
I will tell you
Do
what
they
it
mean
means.
different things?
I will tell you what it means.
Tell
No,
me.
they mean
Tell
the
me,
same.
Sheikh.
I will tell
the
you.
man who knows these
Okay,
things.
then be
Do they
quiet.
mean different
Do you
things?
want to learn?
Does it mean?
Do you want to learn?
I learned from Dr. Fidel
Okay, don't
Suleiman
learn.
reading his
Then
book.
be quiet.
Now you
Then
tell
be quiet.
me. Now you
I will
tell
teach
me.
him. Let's
I
teach the
quote
audience.
scholars,
You see
Sheikh,
here, he doesn't want to
because
read.
you can't
He
quote
doesn't.
on
He
your
doesn't
own
want to hear the
authority.
truth. Doesn't want to hear the truth. He doesn't want to hear the truth. Listen. What Allah says Maliki Yawmiddin, and he said Maliki Yawmiddin.
Right,
Do we
what
have
do those mean?
one second?
What
Do we
do
have
those
Arab
mean?
speakers here? Yeah, raise
What
your
do those
hand.
mean?
Raise your hand.
What do those
Yeah.
mean?
What's Malik means? Owner. Well, okay, yes, good.
I
Good,
read
good,
out
good, good.
master.
Yeah, good. Okay.
So there are
What's
multiple
owner?
different
Okay,
meanings.
one
Thank
second.
you. He gave an honest
One second.
answer.
Yeah, that's fine.
He gave
What's
an honest
Malik
answer.
means? What's Malik means?
King.
Thank
Good.
you. Two
Okay,
different
yeah,
ways
good,
you can read
good,
the Quran.
good.
With 2 different
Good,
words.
good.
With 2 different
Yeah, that's
meanings.
good, that's good.
Thank you.
Okay, good,
You
good,
are
good.
done.
Okay, I will
You're
answer.
just
Okay, I'm confirming.
Fidel Suleiman.
Yeah, I'm confirming.
He knows.
I'm
show you other
confirming.
ones.
I'm
Let's read you other
confirming.
ones.
Now here the answer is.
It's okay, fair. I'm gonna
What
be
is the related? What's the context? The Yawmiddin, the day of judgment. Yeah. When the king of the day of judgment, when there is no kingship except his kingship, there is no ownership except his ownership. So they are complementing each other. They don't contradict each other.
They're all different Qurans, but they all complement each other.
And then they will
Thank
praise
you.
you. The
Thank you,
only
Sheikh.
begotten
Sheikh,
son
I really
is
appreciate
begotten
this.
son. is the begotten Son.
It's hard to get people.
Look at this. How can you even? You have no ground. Yeah, I'm saying this. Yes, yes.
This is a shape.
Yes.
He's just
And I'm saying
there are two different meanings.
Yes.
And they are both
They are completing each other. That's what it means.
That's music
and here,
to my ears.
okay, go.
Thank you.
The Arabs, raise your hand again. Going back. Here, that's why, because they don't know. When people, they don't know, and it isn't preserved. Yes, letter for letter. Dot for dot. Word for. And it is written the same. Listen. By the way, listen, brothers. By the way, if you open the Quran, it is written exactly the same. Open the Quran, it is written exactly the same. Exactly written the same. Malik and Malik. Arabic, you don't know.
You can buy different written books.
Yeah.
For different Qur'an.
No.
You can buy the Welsh edition. The Hafs edition. Yes. Because each one has its own ruling in recitation. That's one
yes,
thing,
there's each one has their own ruling.
Differently.
No, it is written the same.
You have confirmed.
And it is written the same. Yes, I confirm. It is written the same.
Words that mean different things.
Is it written the same?
If it
is it written the same?
Of course it is.
That's
not
it,
written
that's done. Done. So done. Give him a clap. Yes, they're written the same. The question is, the question is, when we open the Bible and we find the only begotten Son, and sometimes we don't find it.
He must love it.
Now the question is, yes, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Listen. By the way, do you confirm it is written in the Bible? Do you confirm it's written in the Bible? The only begotten Son. Is it confirmed in the Bible? The only begotten Son. Going back. Do you confirm? No, I answer. Going back. I answer.
Both correct.
Yeah, both correct.
They don't contradict.
Yes.
They complement.
Therefore, exactly.
It is correct.
And written the same. And written the same.
7
written the same.
Qurans.
Written the same. No. Written the same.
Thank you.
They are written the same.
Done.
Recited differently. Give complementary meaning.
You have
Complementary meaning. It doesn't contradict. Going back. Do you believe it's written in the Bible? You are the only begotten Son. Begotten Son. Is it written? Of course. It's my thing.
It's what I say about
it is my
anything.
Going back.
Won't want
yes, exactly. He's scared. He cannot. He's scared. You know what? He cannot speak the tongue of Jesus.
Let me talk about it.
Only talk about begotten Son. Let's talk about begotten Son. Do you believe it exists? Do you believe it exists in the Bible? Begotten Son. Do you believe it exists in the Bible?
Right. Guys,
begotten Son. Do you believe it exists in the Bible?
He's in hot water.
You see here? Look. He's running. Going back. Answer that question.
Here we go.
Begotten Son. Does it exist in the Bible? Does it exist in the Bible?
Okay.
Begotten Son. Does it exist in the Bible?
Let me explain what we're talking about here to the audience.
Begotten Son. Does it exist in the Bible?
The reason why.
Does begotten Son exist in the Bible? Come on, answer the question. Answer the bloody question.
Yes, does exist in the
Bible. So here, going back. Biblical scholars, they said this is an injection to the Bible. It is imposed in the Bible. Add begotten Son.
The word monogamous.
Yes.
Do you know Greek?
Begotten Son. Yeah, begotten. Here they said they imposed. Do you know Greek? 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 Do you know Greek?
I know the word.
Do you know Greek? Do you know Greek? Do you know Greek? Can you speak Greek? Get us some Greek guy here.
Does he know Greek?
No.
They don't.
You know why? The Bible.
He wants to give
a Hebrew man.
About it. He can't.
A Hebrew man. Listen, brother.
He's talking
a Hebrew man. Listen, brothers. Why need to know Greek?
Me about Greek.
You are there. It's your own Bible.
Where is the word? And I said the word in Greek, which is what it was written in.
You said
Greek. Why I need to know Greek? Why I need to know Greek? Look at this nonsense. Going back, I need to know Greek. Going back to the point.
You're talking about Greek words.
No, I'm talking about here begotten Son.
Which is what?
Here, which is injected in the Bible.
What is
injected in the Bible?
What is the word?
I don't need to know. I don't need to know. Yes. I don't need to know. Do you know why? Look at this guy. Those people. Listen.
Malik and Malik. Do you know Arabic?
I know Malik and Malik. I know the word.
Do you know Arabic? Do you know Arabic? Do you know Arabic? then speak to me in Arabic. Let's just have discussion in Arabic.
Greek words.
Oh,
He does.
I don't.
What is the word?
Listen. I don't
Tell
need to
that man.
I don't need to know. I don't need to know. Listen, I don't need to know.
He's a fraud.
Why I need to?
He's
I don't need to
telling
know.
you these things he doesn't
I don't need to know. I don't need to know. He has no ground.
I've been able
Can
to
he?
show
Can he?
Sheikh Mohammed is
Can he?
confirmed.
Can
there are
he?
7 Qur'an.
Can he?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm confirming. I'm putting my hand. There are 7 qira'at of the Quran. No problem.
Thank you.
No problem.
There are 7
No problem.
different Qur'ans.
Yes, not qira'at, not Quran.
You just said they were different. You said they were complementary.
Yes,
but
complementary.
different.
Yes,
There you
complementary.
are.
No, not
There are
different.
7 Qur'ans.
They complete each other.
Remember, guys, you got that on camera.
No,
There
here.
are 7 different Qur'ans.
Going back.
Complementary,
Going back.
but they are different.
See here,
Thank
a
you.
Hebrew man. A Hebrew man. Listen. A Hebrew man.
He
No.
said they're different, but
A Hebrew man. Don't lie. He lies. They lie on
what you said.
Jesus.
Is that what
They
you
lie
said?
about Jesus. They lie
lie
about
about
God.
Jesus.
They lie about everyone.
You lie about
The question
Jesus.
is, was Jesus Hebrew?
You believe
Was
Jesus
Jesus
was a
Hebrew?
failed prophet.
Was Jesus Hebrew? Was Jesus Hebrew?
Was he a Hebrew?
Yeah, was he Hebrew man?
Israelite?
Was he? Yeah. Okay. Did he speak Aramaic in his time?
He spoke Aramaic.
Okay.
He spoke
And his
Hebrew.
book
He
is
spoke
written in what?
Greek.
No, he didn't speak Greek.
Prove
There's no
it.
proof.
Prove
There's
it.
no, you prove.
He spoke to Pontius
You need to prove.
We have people
it
with
doesn't
names that
matter.
are Greek.
People speak Aramaic
The
at that
whole
time.
region was
I
Hellenized
speak in English.
hundreds of years
I speak
before.
in English. I speak to you now in English. It doesn't mean.
That area.
Listen, time.
What did the
speak
Greeks
different
speak?
languages. No problem.
Greek.
No.
How long did they colonize for?
No.
Hundreds of years.
No. They were Romans.
They have
No. They were Romans.
inscriptions of Jews.
They were Romans.
Well,
Not
the
Greek. They were
Septuagint.
Romans.
These
They
Septuagint.
were Romans.
What is it written?
They were Romans. They were Romans.
Before
Give
the
to Caesar.
Greeks, yes.
No. It was written here. Going back to the point.
He doesn't know
You
history.
see here.
He
I
doesn't
know
know
history. That's what it is.
Do the Greeks colonize the area?
At some time, at certain
What do
point,
the
yes.
Greeks speak?
They speak all the Greek language. Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, but
the Septuagint, what was it written in?
Okay, one
The
second.
Septuagint,
One second.
the Old
One second.
Testament.
Going
What
back
was
to
it
this
written
point. Now,
What
the
was it
question is,
written in?
the question is,
What was it written?
why the Torah is not written in Greek?
But the Torah is written in Greek. From Hebrew into Greek.
No, it's not
Hundreds of years
translation.
ago,
What is?
before Christ.
Ask any
no.
Jew man here.
Oh, no.
Let's ask him.
This is
Where are?
embarrassing.
Find the Jew
Were
guy
there
here.
Jews
Find-
reading from the
find them.
Septuagint at the time of Christ?
Actually, it's a humiliation.
Yes.
If you say to the
And-
Jews that your Torah was written in Greek, it's a humiliation to them. It is written in their own
The
language,
Torah
the
was
Hebrew.
originally written
It is
in
written
Hebrew.
Hebrew.
But
Why the Bible?
around
A Hebrew
300
man.
BC,
Why a Hebrew
the
man?
Septuagint,
A Hebrew
meaning
man.
70,
Why a
the
Hebrew
people
man
who compiled
has his
it
own book
compiled
to be
it in
written in
Greek.
different language? A
The
Hebrew
Jews
man
were
who
speaking
speaks
Greek.
Aramaic. Why his book is written in Greek, which this gentleman he
You've
cannot
just
read
been
it.
exposed, Sheikh.
He cannot read it.
I
He
gave
cannot
you
read
3
it.
reasons
He
that
cannot
Jesus
read
knew
it.
Greek.
No.
He's given me no reasons why he didn't.
There is no way. This is assumption. This is not
Jesus
confirmation.
spoke to Pontius Pilate.
Maybe in
Pontius
Aramaic.
Pilate
Maybe in
was a
Aramaic.
Gentile.
You say
he would have spoken
in Aramaic.
Greek.
No, that's
There
not.
are disciples
okay.
with
How do you
Greek
know?
names.
How do you know he's
Hence
speaking
they
in
do
Greek? How do
Greek.
you know he's speaking in Greek?
The Septuagint
How do you know he's speaking in
is
Greek?
the Old
How
Testament
do you know?
written
Why is not in
in
Aramaic?
Greek.
Why not in Aramaic?
Done.
Why not in Aramaic?
Done.
Why not in Aramaic?
He also spoke Aramaic.
Why not he spoke to them in
Because
Aramaic?
the lingua franca of the
No,
day
no,
was Greek.
it was Roman. It was old Roman language. That was the colonization at that time.
What were they speaking?
At that time,
Yeah.
they would speak Roman, old
What's
Roman, yeah,
Roman?
which is the
What's
Latin,
Roman?
the Latin
Oh, that's-
language.
they
Yes,
always-
yeah,
Latin was only for the elite
yeah,
and for the academics.
Yes, exactly.
The common
So-
language was Greek.
No, nonsense.
Oh, no.
The common language was Aramaic.
Historians are going to be doing
The
backflips
common
when they hear
language,
this, man.
by the way, the common language was Aramaic,
bad.
and
This
the
is
elite
really
they
bad.
spoke Latin. Yes,
There
the
you
elite
are,
spoke
he
Latin.
confirmed what I
Yes,
said.
the elite
Thank
spoke
you.
Latin, and
Sheikh,
there is
you
no
don't know what
manuscript.
you're talking
There is
about.
no manuscript written in Latin. What nonsense!
Of course not.
Go
They
on,
write for
you
the
see
elite.
here. You see
They
here.
wrote for everyday
You look at this.
people,
Look at this.
which was
Look
Greek.
at all of these assumptions. He assumed that
Right.
you spoke in Greek language.
No,
that's not
I
assumption.
gave you
There
the
is no.
fact. The
That's not fact.
Septuagint
That's not
was
fact.
written in Greek.
No,
Jews were using
yes, written in Greek.
I gave
800
you.
years after.
There are
800 years
disciples
after.
such as
800
Andrew
years after.
and Philip who have Greek names.
Because listen,
I gave you the
listen to
example.
this.
That
Listen
he
to
spoke to
this. Listen to
Pontius
this.
Pilate,
You know
who would
what?
have
You know what
spoke
he
Greek.
says. Now, for example, if I go and speak to someone, his name is. Listen, brother
gave
Sam.
3
Sam,
arguments.
Listen,
Deal with them.
listen. If I go and speak to someone, his name is Alejandro. Yeah.
I speak to him in some language, means I speak Spanish. What nonsense is this?
No.
If someone, this is exactly
What
like
it
this.
means,
He spoke to
which is
someone,
what
his
I
name is Philip.
It means, listen.
Yeah, he said,
Jake,
he
you're
spoke
doing
to someone, his name is
Jake, you're
Philip.
doing backflips.
What was the name he said?
Jake.
What's the name he said? Andrew. Yeah,
Andrew,
he spoke to
Philip.
someone, his Andrew and Philip. That's why he speaks Greek.
It
Look at
means
this
the
nonsense.
area was Hellenized.
Like
you laughing?
it means if I speak,
Historians have
listen,
found this.
yesterday,
What an
my brother,
embarrassment.
yesterday,
What an embarrassment.
yesterday, listen, yesterday, by the way, brothers, yesterday, listen, yesterday,
I gave 3 arguments. Here's Donald Trump to say
listen,
one.
brother, no, listen,
He has yet to make one argument.
last week I spoke to Chinese lady. And her name is Chu Song,
No,
yeah?
it's his
That means I can speak
No,
Chinese.
it's his
It's fine. We can't, yeah, it's exactly.
Argument,
I speak
that's not
Chinese.
argument.
I spoke to Chinese man or a Chinese woman, it's
is that they
fine.
were giving
He
Jews-
says, he
they were
spoke to
giving
someone's name is
people
Andrew.
who were
That's why he
Jews
speaks Greek.
Greek names.
I'm asking, no, again,
Why
I
would they give Jews
spoke
Greek
to
names?
someone, it doesn't matter.
It's
It doesn't
because
matter.
they lived in a Greek
Now,
area.
nowadays
So
in
what are they
China,
speaking?
for you, nowadays
Greek.
in China,
Done.
nowadays in China,
Jake, you
people's
have not
name,
made one
nowadays in
argument
China,
to address
some
my
people's
point.
name Tom doesn't mean they're English.
That's not
nonsense.
my argument.
Again,
That's
again,
not
going
my
back to the point.
Sheikh,
Now, a
you have
Hebrew man,
confirmed there are 7 Qurans. Thank you, Sheikh.
Hebrew man,
It is confirmed
who spoke
there are 7
Aramaic,
Qurans.
who spoke Aramaic, and his book was written 800 years after. 800 years after his time, and it's written in what language? Greek. And he says he speaks Greek. Why he speaks Greek? Why he speaks Greek? He spoke to Andrew, then he's Greek. Look at this nonsense. Spoke to Andrew, that's why he's Greek.
You mean
What
the guy with a
nonsense?
Greek name?
Yeah,
Jew?
you speak
Who
to a
was
guy.
probably
It
reading the
doesn't matter.
Septuagint?
It doesn't matter. Jews, they name
would have
different
been in
names.
Greek.
Nowadays, even some Jews, their names even Arabic names. It doesn't mean they're Arabs. That's nonsense. Going back to the point. Now here, this is the challenge for all Christian. If any Christian on earth is able to even recite one single passage, which is written at the time of Jesus, to recite it on the tongue of Jesus. Just one single passage. No single Christian on earth is able to do it.
No, of course not.
Why?
Of course
There
not.
is no.
So, for example, something I
No,
enjoy
it is
is
lost.
I like watching the
As
Lord
they
Prayer
say,
and recited
lost
in
and
Aramaic.
dusted.
No,
Lost
listen.
and dusted.
you mean?
Lost. There is no single passage
There is. It is
written
the
in
earliest-
Aramaic.
it is the
There is
earliest
no
manuscript that we
single
have.
passage.
That is the
There is
original.
no
That is the
single
original.
passage.
original
There is
Quran.
no
There's no.
single
There is
passage
no original
on earth.
Quran.
No one is able to read it.
Where is the original?
No one. He doesn't know.
From the first
Here,
century of
the challenge for
Muhammad.
him. The
Show
challenge.
me.
You see the challenge for you. For everyone.
Manuscripts.
Yes.
Really?
From 1st and 2nd century.
It doesn't matter, brother. Brother, those,
100,000 you
listen. If you show them, even if they saw them with their own eyes, do you think they're gonna accept
The
it?
Sana.
Even listen,
Complete Quran.
those people, they burned the Bible. They burned it. They
Whose
teared
man
it.
burned
You
the
understand?
Quran?
Yeah. Yes, true.
Man,
talking
burns
about?
Quranic
Yes.
manuscripts.
In order not to have what you have,
Burns the
He
Quran.
he burned the copies, which is in order not to have like yourselves, which is
who wrote
lost.
the Quran?
Lost.
You don't know
Lost.
who wrote
We
the
have
Now here,
lost.
again, going back to the point.
You don't know.
A Hebrew man.
We have
A
lost.
Hebrew man spoke Aramaic, and his book is written in Greek. What nonsense is this? Why? Who spoke Greek? How did Andrew? And he took it. Someone's name is Andrew.
Everyone
That means he
in
can.
the area
He can
has a
speak.
common language.
Nonsense.
Roman
Nonsense. Roman. They spoke Latin. They were proud people.
Romans only spoke Latin.
Latin, yes. Latin, they spoke Latin, not
They
Greek.
spoke Greek as
Yeah.
well.
We don't know. How we prove? How you prove? How you prove? How you prove? How you prove Jesus? Why? Listen, this is the question. This is his argument. This is his good argument. How he proves? He says Jesus spoke Greek
because he spoke to Andrew. That means he can speak Greek.
That's not
Nonsense.
an argument.
Again,
He's
going back to the
mocking my
point.
argument.
Give
My
me
argument
a
is
single.
that there were people
No,
at the time
no,
who were Hellenized.
that's not true. That's
How
assumption.
how do you know that? Tell me.
Assumption.
Assumption is simple.
That's assumption.
They were living
Assumption.
under the
No,
occupancy of the Roman
by
Empire.
Romans,
What
not
do you mean
Greek,
by the
not
Romans?
Greek, not Greek.
Romans would have known Greek.
No, not necessarily. Why not? Why?
We have
I don't
manuscripts to the point that were in Greek.
manuscript Greek?
Yes.
Which 800 years
The
after?
earliest
800 years after.
No.
That's the early one. That's the early one.
Code of
Here,
Sinaiticus
going
is
back.
in Greek. Done.
Now here,
Done.
when God has revealed himself to Jesus according to you, what language he spoke to him? When God has revealed himself to Jesus, what language he spoke to him?
What does your Quran say?
I'm asking you.
What does your Quran say?
I'm asking.
What
They
does
they
your
don't have an
Quran
answer.
say?
They don't know.
Muslims
They don't
don't
know.
know.
Did he speak to them in Greek?
Tell me
Do you
what your
think
Quran
God will speak to Jesus in Greek? Or speaking to him in Greek? They don't know. Because hey, that's the point here. They can't have a single passage. They cannot recite a single passage, even in Greek. Even in Greek, they don't know it. They don't know it. So that's why here, my brothers and sisters, we have concluded with this. From this argument, we have concluded as follows. That, firstly, that those people, they don't have any preserved copy of the Bible, firstly. Secondly, that they cannot even recite the Bible according to the tongue of Jesus. They don't know even what's the tongue of Jesus. They don't know what it is. They say, even when Jesus spoke in Greek, it's okay. Did God speak to Jesus in Greek? This is the problem. So that's why here, you need to know that all of these hocus pocus and all of this nonsense, it tells you that those people, they have no ground, to stand. And what's his argument? He spoke to someone, his name is Andrew. Andrew.
What language was the
Andrew.
What language was the
I spoke to a Chinese man last week. That means I can speak. I can speak Chinese because you can speak to someone. Look at this nonsense. That is the concept. The question is, we have no single proof that Jesus spoke in Greek. We don't have single proof. No single proof.
How did he speak
no
to Pontius Pilate?
Single proof.
How did he speak to Pontius Pilate?
Maybe in Aramaic.
Oh, so Gentiles spoke Aramaic.
Maybe in Aramaic.
So the Romans only spoke Latin.
Yes.
Aramaic.
Maybe in Hebrew. Maybe in Hebrew because he was a Hebrew man. We don't know. Here. Look,
what are you on about?
The common here, he was a Hebrew man who speaks Hebrew, who communicate was Andrew Hebrew.
He has no idea.
Was Andrew Hebrew?
He was a Jew with a Greek name.
Good. So was he Hebrew? Was he Hebrew?
Jew
good.
With a Greek name.
Good. Now when Jesus spoke to them, one second.
Is the Old Testament written in Greek?
Good. Look, I will be debunking. Look. Listen. He confirmed this.
There
listen,
was
brothers.
Greek all over the place.
Yes, good.
Greek all over the place.
Listen. So Andrew and Philip, you confirmed they are Hebrew. They are Jewish, yeah?
They are Jews.
So they spoke Hebrew. One second.
In a Greek area.
Hebrew. Did they speak Hebrew?
Was written.
Did they speak Hebrew?
Yes, of course.
And Jesus, did he speak Hebrew? Yes, I assume yes.
Did they speak Hebrew?
Yes, I assume.
Did they speak Greek?
No.
Which was the
We don't know.
common language of the time?
I don't know.
In the
I don't know.
Roman colonized
I don't know.
You don't
But the question is,
he went from
why?
No, they don't.
Why you choose? Why you choose? One second. This is how it is.
So we don't know.
A Hebrew man. One second. A Hebrew man who speaks Aramaic. One second. A Hebrew man. Going back. A Hebrew man who speaks Aramaic. Talk to Hebrew men who speaks Aramaic and spoke to them in Greek. Again, a Hebrew man. Look at this argument. Hebrew man who speaks Aramaic. A Jewish man speaks Aramaic. Spoke to two Jewish men who speaks Aramaic and choose to do what? Choose what? In Greek. Why?
He speaks Aramaic. Why
the question is back
in any way difficult to understand?
No, it's okay.
In a Greek occupied area from the Romans, he would have also spoken.
1 second. About this. Going back. My brothers. Again, going back to the point. Yeah. Now here. Listen. Now here. As Jews, Christians, come forward. We'll ask you a question. We have a question to you as a Jew. Do you think why, for example, your Torah is not written in Greek language?
Can I ask you a very quick question? The Septuagint, what language?
What?
The Septuagint, what language was it written?
What?
The Septuagint.
You know what that is?
That's it.
What's the Hebrew name?
You know
what's the Hebrew name?
You know you have Do you
What's
know
the
this?
Hebrew? I don't know the English name of my text.
You see here, that's my point.
When are the
That's the
earliest-
point. That's the point. That's the point.
Water, if you want.
That's the point here.
Thank you.
A Hebrew man speaks to two Hebrew men. Yeah, spoke to them, and both parties they speak Aramaic and Hebrew,
Yes,
and
they're
he choose to speak in Greek. Nonsense.
Greek was the
Hocus
most common
pocus. Hocus pocus. Nonsense. Not for the Jews. The Jews, they were proud people to speak in their language. So when he speaks to Jew, he speaks to them in Hebrew. He will not choose to speak other language.
I'll prove it to you. I'll
Yeah,
prove it to you
yeah,
it wasn't the
good.
most common language.
Yes.
I'll prove it to you in a simpler way. We're talking about in Israel, correct?
Yes.
In the area of Israel.
Yes.
No problem.
Yeah, the area of that area.
They're
Yeah.
occupied by.
Regardless of another. Let
What
me
language
prove,
were the occupied?
Listen.
It's not relevant. I'll prove you why. No, I'll explain you why they wouldn't have spoken in Greek. I live in Hackney. The predominant language there spoken by the Jews are not English. It's a secondary language. It's not native here. In a foreign country,
Yeah,
let me finish.
yes,
yeah?
good.
In a foreign country, we speak as their first language a foreign language. So, of course, in our native homeland, we would speak the
I know.
native
Let me
over the
explain.
occupiers' language.
Ah!
We do it 2,000 years
I
later.
know. My point is not. when they spoke.
That's it. That's it.
My point is not. That
I
they
have no
would have
comment.
spoken
I have no
Greek.
comment.
My point is that
That's
they would
it.
have been Hebrew.
That's it.
They would have known Aramaic, which they
Yes.
probably would have spoken normal common day language. Yes.
Yes.
There's good reason to believe from both the internal text of the gospel that Jesus would have known Greek because he spoke to people.
No, but you've
Right.
Jack, give me a second. You've created a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're saying that in the gospel it says Jesus spoke Greek. A book
Jesus
that,
speak with Pontius Pilate in your
Just answer.
a book, like, hello. Yeah. A book that I don't hold any validity is what you're using.
So I wouldn't
You know,
expect us
but
to do.
Listen.
No,
You
you
know.
have to bring proof.
Yeah, I understand.
Let me finish. You have to bring proof. You have to bring proof from the external, not internal, accepted documents by me that he would have spoken Greek and it
Okay,
would be
the
natural.
Septuagint then. The Old Testament. Actually, sorry.
Come on.
The Old Testament was translated from Hebrew into Greek 300 years before we believe was the birth of the Messiah.
Why is that the original one?
You know, I don't know why you don't
Nonsense.
No, but we believe that we also believe.
using it.
No.
No.
No. They weren't.
Come on.
I can prove
You're
it to you.
not saying that.
I can prove it to you they
No,
weren't.
saying
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
there were Jews that were using the Septuagint. Why? Because they translated it into
I could
Greek.
prove you that's not the case.
Yeah. Okay.
We know we have manuscripts of it. You're aware.
You could have manuscripts, but just because an individual.
Of the Torah
It doesn't matter about the individual.
Hello. It doesn't. Just because an individual was using it, I can't deny
Right,
to
there are
you.
there.
It's not. Let me finish.
So there were people.
No.
It's not. Let me finish. You're coming asking me to come tell you a certainty that they weren't using it. I know, but I can tell you, as a community, they weren't using it.
That's fine.
They will
That's
never
not my
use it.
point. All my point
They will
is,
never use it.
is that he's trying to
They
say
will never use it.
there is no way they would have known Greek. And I'm simply saying,
The
look,
widespread wouldn't have known
You see
Greek.
here. You see here.
What, sorry?
You
The
know.
widespread population wouldn't have known Greek.
I'm
le-
talking about
I will tell you-
Jesus and the disciples.
Jesus, even by your own account, was not from any high standards, correct?
But according to
Yes,
our,
exactly.
according to our own
He's
accounts,
not from
he
the high
spoke to someone
standard. That's
called
true.
Pontius Pilate,
But
who would have likely only spoken
but
Greek
was he?
or
From,
Latin.
do you hold in your own belief doctrine that Jesus came from the higher end of society? No. So
No.
there's not likely to speak Greek. There was no
That's
reason
my
why a
point.
local
Greek-
native
No,
would
wait,
have spoke
wait,
the
wait.
occupiers'
Greek is a
language.
lower
Yes,
language.
exactly. Yeah,
Latin
that's
is
exactly.
the
That's
higher
my point.
No, but
That's my
the
point.
occupiers' language. Why would somebody from the lower class speak the occupiers' language?
Because
you could
the
argue
majority
that.
of people who are coming to your
listen.
country
Do you know
are
the
speaking
argument?
Yeah, but we didn't. But
Can-
that's
can-
not an
I'm
argument.
Can I say to you the
I'm not
argument?
saying the
Listen, can I
Jews
say to you
didn't
the
speak
argument?
Give me a second.
Yeah.
You have to explain to me why somebody from the lower classes of society,
Yeah.
by your account, Jesus was from the lower class, lowest class, would be speaking a language of the occupiers,
Of the
which
elite.
Generally, only the aristocracy of the Jewish
The elite.
community, the elite would have spoken it. The local native people wouldn't have spoken the occupiers'
That's our
language.
point.
Many
And-
of local people. If you would,
and
okay,
I will
for
add- I will
example,
add to your information.
to have
Do you know-
any
do you know the point?
conversation with the Roman authority, how would you do it?
Listen.
Say if you were-
Listen.
say you-
Listen.
wait,
Can I say
if you
something?
were a Jewish
One
person
second.
at the time, yes,
Yeah.
and you knew Hebrew and you knew Aramaic.
Yeah.
If there was a guard or someone whom you had to speak to who was a Roman,
Yeah.
how would you speak to him?
The odds are most of the Roman emperors. First of all, it's clearly shown that the Roman emperors and most occupiers throughout all history took translators with them. Okay?
Yes,
So
exactly.
no way they
went
could have
to
had a
India.
conversation.
Nobody
Yes.
from it. Nobody,
So
they didn't speak English in India.
If someone stole and a guard saw it and he came, how on earth would the guard tell him to even stop? They wouldn't even speak his language.
They speak Hebrew that time.
Wait, the
Romans
No, I'm talking about here. You said
majority wouldn't have been able to
do
communicate.
you know,
They wouldn't have. The odds majority wouldn't have.
Do you know the problem?
They would have quickly
Listen,
adapted
listen.
Greek.
Hello, why
which
do
the
you
evidence?
think?
We have.
Why do you think
You know we have
occupiers are looked
inscriptions.
at-
Wait. We have
Do
inscriptions.
you know what his argument? To me,
Listen,
the first
wait,
manuscript, the first manuscript written in Greek.
Yes,
I said to him, why the first manuscript written in Greek? I asked him, I challenged him.
Because
Can you talk? Listen,
there
listen,
is no
listen.
reason to
Can I?
think
Okay, one
they
second.
did not
One
know
second. Let me.
Greek.
Let me.
Yes, there
One
is.
second.
Why
One second.
would they know Greek before the Greeks came? Let's go back a second.
What?
Before the Greeks before
The Greeks were there hundreds of years.
So what?
That it was a Hellenized region.
What? For how long? When you hold Jesus died?
Wait, what do you mean?
The Greek were not there even.
What? When the Romans were there. Sorry. How long do you
The
hold
Greek
they
were not there even.
How long would you
Maybe
think
they've
they
got-
were there?
Nonsense.
Also, wait,
Listen.
it would make sense from a view of the gospel.
You see here. You
They
see
were
here.
writing in a language
Why? What's
of
this
the
nonsense? Here's a hocus
majority
pocus.
of the
Listen.
empire.
He's referring to Rabbi Google.
Listen, Rabbi Google. Yeah. So listen to this. Please Google.
Latin was the
Yeah.
official language of the Roman Empire.
Yeah, that's
But
my
other
point.
languages were regionally important, such as Greek.
Okay, but Jews don't speak
So
the occupiers'
Jews, they
language.
never
But the
spoke the
Septuagint was written in Greek.
No.
Individuals may have learned the language, but by and
They
large,
are there.
it's
The
not
people,
because Jesus
listen,
was from the
so
lower
can you
class.
imagine?
He
Listen,
wouldn't
listen,
have
listen,
spoken
there
listen,
have not
listen,
been
listen.
people
According
who
to them,
would have
listen.
known Greek?
According to them, David. According to them, listen. According to them, listen. According to them, do you know what they believe? They believe Jesus first. I said to him, how do you prove that Jesus spoke Greek? Yeah. You know what his proof?
We know
He
that
said,
they did.
he said, you know what he said? He said he spoke to two guys. Listen to this. He spoke to two guys. One of them, his name is Andrew. The other one, his name is Philip. Both of them, they were Jews. And he spoke to them in Greek. He spoke to them in Greek. I said a Hebrew
I
talked to
never
two
said
Hebrew men
that.
in Greek.
I said,
Can
What did you
You
say?
say, look,
What did
look,
you say? Let's hear.
I was
What's the
pointing
proof?
out-
What's the proof that he speaks Greek?
His
Look.
argument is that there is no way. Can I have a
Would
chat
not be
with
very
him?
fit.
Can I have a chat with him?
What, Christians
Can I have a
and
wait,
women
mate? What are you
go
doing?
everything
What are you doing? Can I have a chat with him? Well, you're just saying.
Everyone comes. What was the problem?
He's trying to argue that there is no way at all. that anyone can
I
learn
didn't say
Greek.
that. I didn't say that.
What did you say? Then?
I said,
Go on then.
I said, firstly, can you read the Bible according to what Jesus recited? That's the challenge. And I said to you, how is? Then you said the first early manuscript was written in Greek. I said, a Jew man, he's a Jew according to them, who spoke Aramaic of that time, and he will recite the Bible in the language of the elite, according to him. I said, how can I said recite it according to Jesus? Either if he recited it in Hebrew, I will understand. If he recited it in Aramaic, I will understand. Why he choose Greek? I said, what's the proof to do that?
Right.
He said he spoke
so can I-
to two Jews who are Jews
this.
living there,
You, the
nonsense,
history.
who are
You don't know
Jews
history,
living
bro.
there,
doesn't
and
know.
he chose to speak to them. Wait one second. He chose to speak to two Jews in Greek. I said, he's Hebrew, and he knows Hebrew. They know Hebrew. He knows Aramaic. They know Aramaic. Why he need to choose? Why he choose to speak in Greek? That is the argument. He said that's why he said he has to speak in Greek. That was his argument.
I'm not
Nonsense.
listen.
Just like I said to you, like last week, I spoke to Chinese guy, and his name is Chu Cheng, whatever. That means I can speak Chinese.
Let
You
him
understand?
speak. Let him speak. He's getting his look.
Okay, I'm not trying to say that
Hey, get me water.
when everything
The
that was
Christians, they help
recited
each other.
from
Get me water.
Jesus was done exclusively in Greek. I never made that claim. All I'm saying is, if they wished to, there is a high
Just
likelihood
find
they
someone.
probably could have
Ask one of the brothers. One of the
to
brothers.
understand each other.
No, and I'll explain you why.
That's what. Okay.
No, I'll explain you why. Look how I dress.
Yeah.
Number one, look how I dress. My name, do you know my name is a Jewish name. I dress like this, very Jewish looking, and I speak Hebrew.
Okay, that's antidotal.
No.
What? No, let me.
It's important.
Let me finish. Okay. Jewish tradition is that regardless of everything, there's three things you never do. You never change your name. You keep the Jewish name. You don't change the dress. You don't take the local dress. You keep dressing the same way, and you don't change your language. We Jews, for thousands of years of exile, in exile, not in the homeland, have still spoken the same language.
Yeah, but what
Are
language
you
are you
honestly?
speaking now?
What?
What language are you speaking now?
I speak English. I do. No problem. I do. Yes.
So
But
there
as
are
a second
Jews who speak
language.
other languages.
What?
There are Jews who speak other languages.
Yes.
I know Jews, and I've spoken to them in English.
Yes. Nowadays, many Jews speak.
Even you mean only
What?
now? Are you saying?
He
only now?
will-
100 years ago in Poland? Most of them 100 years ago in Poland?
None of them spoke English or
what?
Polish.
Most of them most likely did not speak Polish properly.
What?
Most of them spoke broken Polish at best.
I'm pretty confident there would have been Jews who would have known the language.
Yes, there would have. There was Jews that knew the language, but by and large, it was the higher class.
I can understand what you're saying, but you're taking it a little too far because you're saying that there just isn't any way, and I'm saying no, there is a way.
No, don't assume.
I'm not saying there isn't any way. I'm
Okay,
saying
there is a way then.
No, well, let me finish.
If they need to communicate, they will communicate in their language.
That now, when we're in exile, we still keep to the original language. Are you honestly?
I understand that.
Are you honestly telling me back in the homeland they would have taken the colonizers' language after a few years?
Yeah, you see, that's
my point.
That's what we're saying.
I'm not saying
that's what we're saying. That's the nonsense. That's the hocus pocus they have.
Have I ever said that?
Why would they have spoken the colonizers' language in the first place?
They could have.
What?
They could have and they could not. You see, as
a
assumption.
Jewish man in Poland could have probably spoke Polish.
Could and could not.
If you go,
you see, it's could not and could. Probability. There's a.
Probably live in a Jewish community.
You see here.
Common language.
Listen, you cannot.
If you go into where's it called again?
I think he's trying to take what I've said out of context.
No.
Your context is as follows.
I'll prove it with a modern day example. If you go into Jenin, you know where Jenin is? Jenin refugee camp.
Yeah.
It's roughly 30 miles away from Tel Aviv.
Okay.
And Jerusalem, the head of Israel. Yeah. You could find hundreds of thousands of Muslims there who don't speak a word of Hebrew, even though the occupiers' language is Hebrew. Why not? 70 years occupation, they still don't speak the language. Why? Because people don't take the occupiers' language that quickly.
Exactly, that's my point. That's my point.
With technology, with smartphones to learn the language.
India was occupied.
Listen,
India.
They will be from the higher class.
Listen,
you wouldn't find
India was occupied for more than 300 years by the British. And very few people who speak proper English from them, because it's not even the elite. This is India. We go back now. The problem is this: in India, yeah. Go to India and try. No, some, but not all. Some, yes. I'm saying I'm not saying not everyone. My point is, but here going back to that's not my point. Our point is, why a Hebrew man, a Jew man who was born as a Jew, who was circumcised, speak to two Jew men who are Hebrew, speaks Hebrew, and the language of the common people is Aramaic, let's assume. Why he choose to speak to them in Greek? Nonsense. You understand this nonsense? And according to the Holy Spirit, God, instead of choosing the language of the people, will choose the language of the elite, and to put the manuscript to be written in what? In Greek. Nonsense. You see the nonsense what's going on? So that shows all of these hocus pocus. See, try to understand.
Does it make sense that if Jesus spoke to someone called Pontius Pilate,
with a translator,
was a Roman official.
With a translator.
A Roman official would have had a translator.
It doesn't say that.
Hello, are you honestly telling me the Romans sent a guy to Jerusalem? Hello, I have a question for you. They sent a guy to Jerusalem and said, figure out the language yourself, bro.
Or
what do you do? The governor of the area. Figure it out yourself.
That's it.
Or, funny enough, they both had a common language, which is why they could speak.
Are you telling me?
Why is you?
You even admit.
Come on.
Yes, there were. But the Romans would have not sent the governor of the area with no translator. Just figure it out yourself, bro. We have faith in you.
But they could both speak.
That's my point. What I wanted.
Also,
that is the case. That is the case. So that's why.
Way, there were Jewish people.
Why don't you admit? Ask him now. Going back.
But you're telling me the Romans sent the guy, the head hierarchy, with no translation.
Listen.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
I'm asking you.
I'm not saying that's a guaranteed thing. I'm simply saying
answer me a yes or no.
It's a possibility.
Are you telling me there's a possibility the Romans, who conquered a significant part of the known world,
the Greeks Hellenized it.
Conquered a significant part of the known world at the time, without translators, they just sent guy.
No, that's
are you
not
telling me they did?
Yeah, that's my point.
Do you understand?
You think
that is the possibility. That is the possibility.
I'm telling you, there's a complete reasonable chance there was a translator there. Absolutely.
No, I'm asking you a different question.
Listen,
that's not my question. That's not my question.
You just told me how it's absolutely a translator.
And I'm asking you, are you saying there's any chance they sent him without a translator?
There is a chance.
Yes or no? Is there a chance? What percentage?
I can't give you a percentage.
What do you suspect?
I can't speak.
A low or high
Listen,
number?
all I am saying to you is that we know there were Greek Greek-speaking Jews. There are Jews
Okay.
that translated the Old Testament into Greek. It's
and
called
by the
the
way-
Septuagint. It happened 300 years prior.
And by the way,
Second
listen,
of all,
David.
second of all, we know there are inscriptions written by Jews that were in Greek.
Now
We have this as
listen.
part of
Listen. By the way,
We know there were
David,
Jews
I will
that
add
did
to your
this.
information.
Now, does this mean-
David,
does this mean-
according to
Let
them.
me answer. Give me a second.
Now, look,
Relax.
does this mean that
Okay,
Jews
you
didn't speak Aramaic predominantly? No. Does this mean they didn't, especially from the Torah, recite the Torah in Hebrew? No, of course not. We know they did.
Why he didn't
But what
speak
I'm
to them
saying-
in Hebrew?
All I'm saying, though, is that there is definitely good reasons to think they could have in certain situations where it was needed.
Let's go back a second.
Now,
no problem.
in order for his argument to be
No, let
correct,
me address
he
it.
has
I have
to
an issue-
refute that.
No, but I have an issue with that, what you just said.
Okay.
So you're telling, are you English?
Yes.
Okay, so my suggestion is go to the British Museum, ask them for any section of empire, and ask them if we went all over the world without translators. Okay? No empire in the world rocked up in places and just said, figure it out.
That's fine. That doesn't address my point.
It's no.
Anyway,
You're
what I'm
telling me
saying
you
is,
believe there's a chance.
Did the British
that-
make the occupants learn English?
Listen, there's not.
What?
David,
Did the British-
one second.
did the British
one
make
second.
the occupants learn
Listen.
English?
Can I say something?
What?
Listen.
No,
Can
let me just-
I will say something.
Yes,
Listen, David.
and you find, you find within community within India and in different parts of the world where we conquered, where there were communities that even though the English tried to enforce English, why? Because for them it was a commitment.
You're arguing more than you can demonstrate.
Listen, and on top
All
of this,
I'm saying is
listen.
there's a
You know what?
possibility.
Just listen. I will tell you something. According to them,
What possibility?
Listen.
No, we're saying that they sent someone without a translator.
Listen,
Like,
and
that's
according,
illogical.
you know, according to them, he said,
Unless they
Jesus
both knew
said,
Greek.
Jesus said, one
As many Jews
second,
did.
one second, David, there's more nonsense, yeah, there's more nonsense.
Wow.
According to them, Jesus said, I was sent to the far sheep of the house of Israel. Yeah? The lost, sorry. I was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So what he should speak to them, in which language? If he was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, what language he has to speak to them?
No, Japanese, according to
Maybe Japanese. Maybe, yeah. Maybe he has to talk to them in Japanese. Maybe that will be.
But what about the
When
time
he
he
was sent,
spoke to
wait a second.
Gentiles?
So if
What
he was
about
sent,
the time he spoke to Gentiles?
so Aramaic. That was the language of the commoners. The language of the commoners was Aramaic. The language of the commoners was Aramaic. That's the language. And yes, the language of the commoners
The
was.
language of the Jews is Aramaic.
No, the language of the Jews is Hebrew. For you to know,
New Testament was written for everybody.
the language
The
of the
language of
Jews
when you read the Torah, what do you read it in? Hebrew. Exactly.
in Hebrew.
When you speak, do you often speak Hebrew? At the time when they spoke Aramaic?
Pardon?
At the time when they spoke Aramaic or Hebrew? Like in normal conversation?
Between the two of
away,
them?
Away from
Between the two of them,
There's arguments to be made for both. I can't. But
Okay,
most
so,
likely Hebrew.
usually you...
most likely Hebrew.
You wouldn't say
so
Aramaic.
so
There's
either.
a chance. There is. I
This guy
can't.
is
Yeah,
actually
you see here, the common language of that time, the Aramaic.
Well, apparently
And
no,
he
no.
was sent.
Local
He was
language.
sent. Local was Aramaic.
No, no,
Yeah,
it's
Aramaic.
local.
Aramaic.
Listen, Christianity was all
Aramaic.
over the place.
Aramaic. Yes. Aramaic.
He says
Local
he doesn't
language.
live in Aramaic.
Local.
He's
Yes,
saying-
you are a heckler. Local language.
saying it
Local
wasn't in
language was
Aramaic.
Aramaic. Local
He said
language was
it's not
Aramaic.
Aramaic.
What
He
was
says it's an
local
argument
language
for
was Aramaic, and as well, and the Jews they spoke Hebrew between themselves that generally.
were bilingual.
Jesus wasn't there for Jews
and
only.
Jesus was sent to the
No,
lost.
he wasn't
one second.
just sent
He
to
was
Jews.
sent to the lost sheep of
What does
Israel,
Matthew
and
28
yes,
say?
and he spoke to
What
two
does Matthew
Hebrew
28
guys,
19
and he spoke to
does
two
Matthew
Hebrew
28
guys,
19
and he chose to speak in Greek.
Do you know that Jesus
Nonsense.
was sent to
You
You
see
see here,
educated.
you lost. You lost.
You know that
Listen,
Jesus
listen.
was sent to
By
all
the way,
nations.
by the way, you
Matthew
lost.
28,
By the way, you
19
lost.
said that
By
Jesus
the
was
way,
sent to all
you have to
nations.
understand.
Acts 1:8 said
Listen,
Jesus was sent to all
listen.
nations.
You have to know.
I just
That
refuted you.
argument. That argument
Right there.
was literally debunked. Your
Tell me.
argument was
Go on
debunked.
then,
I
refute
asked
me,
you. I
refute me.
asked you again.
You demolish
Going
your
back.
own argument.
You
Right
going
now.
back. The first manuscript was in Greek.
Enjoy yourself. I'll leave
Thank
this
you.
with you. It's good
Thank
to
you,
see you
Ado.
as always.
Thank you,
I'll
Ado.
find someone else.
So we have finished this conversation, and you see here
ended
they were
with
defeated
him
in front,
understanding
in all,
Jesus
even
came
by the
down
Hebrew,
just for
even by
you.
the Hebrew.
And the Jews-
And anyway,
Different qira'at is different words
anyway,
with different
that's it. We're done.
meanings.
You see here.
Different meanings.
Thank you. Anyway,
Thank you.
you see here.
Jake, you
You
are
see here.
unable to
We're
give
done.
it.
You
You
don't.
told people.
Just
You told people.
look at the video later on.
Quran
Look at the video
difficult.
later on, and then you will see your argument is debunked. And learn,
You're
debunked.
learn,
You're debunked.
learn your faith.
You admitted.
Learn your
Jesus came
faith.
from Jews
And learn your faith.
Hey, mashallah.
Learn your faith. Learn your history. You don't know, and then we're done.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye, Sheikh. So